Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2D Board Gamers. My name is Dave, and today we're going to look at my top 5 anticipated cards for the upcoming Silk hero for Marvel Champions. Silk is the second hero that they showed that's coming after the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. campaign box, which is currently scheduled for March. Black Panther Shuri was the first hero, and Silk is the second hero. Both Black Panther Shuri and Silk are scheduled to be released in April. And the original article, they mentioned that there was going to be some more Shield agents and a couple surprises. And Black Panther Shuri and Silk are both a couple surprises. So let's take a look at what Silk can do. Okay, so let's take a look at her alter ego first. So we got Cindy Moon. She's got a 3 recovery, hand size 6, 10 hit points. She's a genius. If there are more than 4 tuck cards here, discard all but 4 of those cards. And as an action, you can discard a card tucked here to draw 2 cards, limit once per round. And as Silk, she's a 1 thwart, 2 attack, 3 defense. She's a web warrior, hand size 5. If there are more than 4 tuck cards here, discard all but 4 of those cards. And then she has what's called Silk Sense, which is a response. After you defeat a minion or side scheme or resolve a treachery card, tuck that card under here from the encounter discard pile. So she's able to take cards from the encounter discard pile and basically remove them from the game, at least for a while until she wants to draw some cards. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so she comes in protection, and my number 5 is a protection card called Dr. Sinclair. 2 cost support, persona therapist, alter ego action, exhaust Dr. Sinclair, and spend a mental resource. Heal damage from your alter ego equal to your recovery. You may discard 1 status card from your identity. Any player may trigger this ability. Now, this is similar to the Night Nurse, which we've had before, which is a 1 cost support, uses 3 medical counters. Action, exhaust the Night Nurse and remove 1 medical counter from her. Heal 1 damage from a hero and discard 1 status card from it. Now, the advantage that I think Dr. Sinclair has over the Night Nurse is that you get your recovery value in hit points, and you still get to remove the status. But you do have to spend a mental resource to do it. But any player can do it. With the Night Nurse, the person who has it just has to trigger it as an action, which of course you could call for an action. This reminds me of like the X Mansion, which is a 2 cost support, location X-Men, alter ego action, exhaust X Mansion, heal 1 damage from a mutant or X-Men character. Any player whose alter ego has a mutant trait may trigger this ability. So it doesn't have to be the person who controls the card, it can be anybody on the team. And Dr. Sinclair could do the same thing. So that is pretty cool. So my number 4 is J. Jonah Jameson. He's a 3 cost support. He's a persona, alter ego action, exhaust this card, search your deck and discard pile for get the scoop and put it into play. And as an action, you can exhaust this card, remove 2 threat from a side scheme. So every turn, you have 2 threat that you can remove from a side scheme, and every time get the scoop is not in play, you can exhaust him to get it. So you giving up, removing 2 threat for that turn to get the scoop back out again. And get the scoop, which just would be part of my number 4, is a player side scheme, alter ego action, exhaust your identity, remove 2 threat from here. Any player may trigger this ability. The Cindy, when defeated, the Cindy Moon player looks at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck and tucks one of those cards under their identity. And it's got 4 threat on it. So this is very similar to Jubilee's side scheme, where other people can help remove the threat. And once this has been removed, you can look at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck and put one and tuck one under her, which is very good. Um, you could keep the card from activating, like say, uh, very annoying minion, or one of the villain cards that you don't want to deal with, or to keep it from the game, or just to increase the amount of cards that you have under her. So that's really good. So number 3 is Spider Claws. It's a 2-cost upgrade. It's a weapon. When Silk makes a basic attack, exhaust Spider Claws. For this attack, she gets +1 attack for each card tucked under her from the same encounter set as the attacked enemy. This attack gains piercing. So she has a base 2 attack, and if she has 4 cards tucked under her from the same encounter set, say the villain that you're attacking, then she's attacking for 6. That's without doing any modifications, like playing aggression and adding, combat training, or skilled strike, or anything like that. So uh, using basic attack aggression deck would be amazing with her, because she could dish out a lot of damage just with her basic. Um, but even by itself, it's a +4 if they're all from the same. Now, you might, if there's a lot of minions, you might want to have like 2 from the villain and 2 from the minion encounter set. Well, that's fine. That still does 4 attack outside of aggression. And then if you have any way to buff her attack score, that's even better. But it's a very reliable way of dealing significant damage with your basic attack. Number 2 is Spider Reflexes. It's a 2-cost upgrade. It's a superpower. Hero interrupt. When Silk defends, exhausts Spider Reflexes. For this attack, she gets +1 defense for each card tucked under her from the same encounter set as the attacking enemy. After this attack, tuck the top card of the encounter discard pile under Silk. So this, again, can give her +4 defense, which can give her a basic 7 defense, even outside of protection. Um, or if you say, again, have the thing where you have 2 from the villain and 2 from the minion encounter set, that's still a 5 defense. And then you throw in Armored Vest and the other protection goodies if you're playing protection, and her defense is even higher. So that is amazing. Okay, the first set of honorable mentions is a couple events that come in her kit. The first one is a 3-cost event called Swinging Silk Kick. It's an aerial attack superpower. Hero action attack. Deals 7 damage to an enemy. You may discard a card tucked under Silk from the same encounter set as that enemy. If you do, this attack deals 2 additional damage and gains overkill. So you are getting rid of one of your cards, but as you've seen, you can get more, and it allows you to do a little bit more damage than overkill. So it's kind of nice to take out a minion and then let the extra damage go to the villain. And then the other one is Wall Crawl. It's a 1-cost event, superpower talent, hero action thwart. Remove 2 threat from a scheme, then choose a scheme. You may discard a card tucked under Silk from the same encounter set as the chosen scheme to remove 3 threat from the chosen scheme. So this could be the original scheme, which then would be 5 threat removed, or you could choose a different scheme. Next set of honorable mentions is a couple of protection cards. First one is a 2-cost event called Stop Hitting Yourself. It's an attack, hero response attack. After you defend against an enemy attack and take no damage, deal damage to that enemy equal to your defense for that attack. And as we talked about earlier, her defense could get up to like a 7 conceivably. But it's going to, I mean, the base is 3. So this is a good card for any 1, 2, 3 hero. But the fact that you can get her defense super high makes this a really good card for her. And then the second card is an ally, Scarlet Spider, 3-cost ally, 1 thwart, 2 consequential, 1 attack, 2 consequential, 5 hit points. He's a web warrior. Interrupt. When another web warrior character would take any amount of damage, Scarlet Spider takes that damage instead. So that is really good. The next set of honorable mentions is two more protection cards. We got Energy Shield. It's a zero cost upgrade. Item Tech. Attached to a character, max one per character. When attached character would take any amount of damage, spend X energy resources to prevent X of that damage. Now this is really good because it's a energy barrier that doesn't go away, but you do have to spend energy to protect yourself. So you can attach this to a hero to guarantee the perfect defense as long as you have the energy resources. Or you can even attach it to an ally to keep them from taking damage, which would include consequential damage too. So you've got a Voltron that you want to keep around. As long as you've got energy, it's a great way to prevent that Voltron from taking any consequential damage as well. Then we have Ready for a Fight. It's a one cost upgrade preparation card. So like Black Widow and Nick Fury would like this. It requires a strength, max one per player. When an enemy would scheme, discard Ready for a Fight. Change to hero form, that enemy attacks you instead. So that's a really good way to get a heal in alter ego and then not have the enemy scheme. So that is really good. And it also helps in multiplayer as well. So that's amazing. Last set of honorable mentions is a couple basic cards. So first we have Madam Web, 3 cost ally, 2 thwart, 1 attack, 2 hit points. She's a web warrior. Response: after Madam Web enters play, look at the top X cards of the encounter deck, where X is the number of web warrior cards you control. You may discard 1 card looked at this way and put the rest back in any order. So this is the way to, figure out like a card that you want to grab to tuck under your identity, but it's also really good for manipulating the villain phase for what cards are going to be boosts and what cards are going to be encounter cards. So that's really good. And then we also have a team up card, investigative journalism, 2 cost event, team up Cindy Moon and Peter Parker, max one per deck. Alter ego interrupt: when an enemy would scheme, cancel that activation and confuse that enemy. So this is really good when you're an alter ego to avoid, an enemy from scheming. Um, and I'm assuming there'll be a copy in the back of the pack for Peter Parker. And Peter Parker is probably her signature ally. We don't know at this point. But even if not, we do have a basic Peter Parker Spider-Man that could be used with this card. So that's pretty good. And number one is eidetic memory. It's a 1 cost upgrade superpower. Interrupt: when you reveal a card from the same encounter set as a card tucked under your identity. Exhaust eidetic memory. Swap those cards. Reveal the card that had been tucked under silk instead. So this is really good when we saw some of those cards where you can manipulate what card's going on top. So you can kind of set that up for eidetic memory. But also if you have a really annoying treachery card from the villain set, say for example, you could swap it for maybe a minion that came in the villain set or something. So you can avoid some of the really annoying cards, hopefully from the encounter deck. So that's really good. So that was a look at Silk and my top 5 anticipated cards. I'm really looking forward to playing Silk, and she comes out in April along with Black Panther Shuri. So Dirk and I will be getting some 2-player games in with these two teamed up together, but that won't be till April. Okay. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you.